uh, Roundtable, and our recording has started and the waiting room is open. And as everyone comes in from the waiting room, please come on in, everyone. We've got all of our people coming in from the waiting room to join this special edition, first ever NTCA Roundtable Live Artisan Edition. So welcome everyone as you're coming on in, joining the evening's roundtable. We've got a team of artisans, highly respected artisans from the tile industry that are with us this evening. And we are excited that you're joining us today. Please come on in. You'll be able to unmute yourself. You should have that option. And you should be able to change your name from Test to whomever you would like to be. And we're glad to have you. Turn on your video. We'd love to see you, love to have you join us. And we'd love to have you join the conversation at any point in time. We've got some, hey, Jerry, good to see you. Hi, Paul. Bill, nice to see you. Dave.
Oh, wow, now it's my turn. Let me do some. Hi, Seth. Hi, Paul. Hi, Jerry.
Hi.
Holly, Pete, Lisa, Wayne, Dave, Amber. It's nice to see all of you. Mr. Will White, how are you?
You didn't mention Test. Say hi to Test.
Hey, Test, how are you?
Yeah, I gotta change that.
All right. So we have just about everybody. And if more people come in, they can just wander on in. And I do want to let everybody know that we are recording today. It's October 20th today. And today is NTCA's Artist Edition Roundtable Live. And I just want to introduce to you and wave your hand, Lee Callewaert. Lee, I'll let you introduce yourself, wave your hand, and Joshua Nordstrom, please raise your hand there. And Angie Halford Ray. Hello, Angie. Hi. So I'm going to turn it over to our artists. They'll run the show and take it away.
Hey, I'm Lee Callewaert from Dragonfly Tile and Stoneworks, and we specialize in artistic tile and stonework. We're doing this today just to bring awareness to how many people out there are actually interested in doing this or are doing this, and just give them a place to grow.
Yes, I'll go next. I'm Joshua Nordstrom. My company is Team Tile up in Homer, Alaska. Just what Lee said, you know, we started this thing as just to get people into the artistic side of tile. We were talking, and everybody's normal installs that they do every day are artistic in some way, shape, or form. So we just want to kind of teach people how to take it to the next level. So.
All right, I'm Angie. I own Unique Mosaics. I guess I should say my last name. It's Ray. It was previously Angie Halford, but now I'm married, so it's Angie Ray. And I'm just really excited that we have this platform to be able to communicate back and forth with people. And I'm looking forward to answering questions. There's a lot of questions that I get weekly by just different people calling and or messaging me. And so I try to be helpful whenever I can, and looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say.
Well, I think something that needs to be understood by people that may be thinking about doing this, so they are doing it, and they're concerned that is there a market for it? How do I get into it? These are things that we can probably all of us help you with. There is a market for it. You have to make people aware of what is possible. We all have done it a different way, I'm sure, as far as our approach. And Joshua, like, how have you broken into that market?
No, for me, it was just starting with, everybody has a portfolio, and my portfolio, I just choose to only share pictures of my artwork. So early days, I made it a point to always offer to show my clients my portfolio of past jobs. And I'd say 8 or 9 times out of 10, you see interest. So if you definitely, if they show interest, then show them what you've done in the past, and then always offer, be observant of, their hobbies and what they're into, their profession, just of their lifestyle, and just throw ideas out. And that's how you kind of get the ball rolling. So yeah, it's just showing off my portfolio. And I think people really, most people were into it, but you could tell when some people kind of rolled their eyes and they're like, yeah, I just, put my square tiles in. And that's what you do. But, you start off getting a few people that bite, and, the bigger your portfolio gets, the more people, it just kind of snowballs. So that's how I started to get into it. And, now I've been here 17 years, and, I've built a reputation for myself as an artist. So there's only a few tile installers in town, and I'm the one that specializes in the art. So definitely a long-term thing for me, and it's
Can I ask this question? I want to ask this question of the three of you. So you started in art, obviously it was something that intrigued you, but how did you start getting business? What were your avenues to go after business and show your work and move forward and make a career of the art side?
Angie?
Yeah, I'll start with that. Basically, I get most of my business from social media. So, I would get a special project here and there and then share it. And then it just kind of snowballed, after I'll get tagged in posts, things like that. And pretty soon it came to where I guess you could say it used to be about 90% of my work was social media, but now I'm starting to get known locally. And so now I think it's more around 75% is through the internet.
So Angie, you did a job here in Minneapolis at a brew house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how you got that job, because I'm trying to figure out how someone would find you on social media that owns a brew house, and
Right. Well, it isn't always necessarily the client themselves that find me. It's usually the contractors that find me. So the contractors or the architects or builders who basically in the same networking circles, they find me that way. So I haven't really had to advertise, which is nice. And I didn't spend any money on any advertising when I started out, because I didn't have any money really. So I just had my reputation, and I had to just roll with that. And pretty soon now it's just built up to a lot of contractors and designers and architects, people like that know who I am and will call me for jobs all over the nation now.
Well,
Hey guys, I was just watching the chat screen here, and we had a question from Paul. We had a question from Paul. He basically is asking, how much does your average customer let you influence the design of the project, as opposed to just handing you specific that they want you to do?
Well, I think the key is in this business is making sure that you have a seat at the table and in the early going. And I think your reputation, building a reputation, will earn you that seat rather quickly. You need to be on the ground floor, because so many decisions can be made for you and without you. that opportunities are missed all the time. You know, so I think that's very important that you have a one-on-one relationship with your client.
Yeah, I think Paul, I think what he's asking is how often do your customers just allow you to, you know, really influence what's going on, opposed to giving you a hard and specific task of something they want done? How much do they turn you loose and just like?
How
Well,
much artistic freedom?
Yeah,
Right.
creative freedom. Gotta love that.
I find with what I do, especially now that I've kind of built myself up to where I'm at, I get about 100% artistic freedom. You know, people come to me with an original idea, and then I'll draw up a few different ways that I envision going about it, and then give them the options, and then that's where we start. And then, you know, they'll pick option F. In this case I'm working on right now, I gave them 6 options. They picked F, so I took the design F and I blew that up life size from my drawing, and that's just kind of where I went with it. And then, you know, it's up to me to pick materials and colors and everything, because I know what works and what doesn't for cutting wise. So I'd say you have to have a certain level of artistic freedom in order to pull it off, because I think people come to you with an idea and, you know, you don't necessarily see the same idea as them. You just have to kind of communicate that.
Yeah, I do a little bit of both. Sometimes there are designers that are involved in my projects and they already have the basic idea, spec'd out sizes, what the mosaic or whatever it is that I'm creating. They have the design, and I have to, you know, like Josh was saying, you know, I know more about the materials and what'll work with what. And so I'll usually get to choose, but ultimately it's a communication thing, you know, just talking to the client back and forth and trying to get them to agree for you to be able to make decisions and make changes, because it's a lot easier that way. If they just trust you based on your reputation and your previous work.
So I have a question for you. Do you work mostly with ceramic and porcelain tile, or do you find yourself working more with stone as being maybe easier to manipulate, some of the softer stones?
Everything,
Everything.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
Tell you, I started off just with cutting travertine, shaping travertine. And then once I figured that I could do that, which was really easy, you know, I did a few travertine, just I was making rugs and mirrors and just whatever I could just to kind of practice. I finally started to cut porcelain. I didn't think it was possible. And then once I figured out that you can cut porcelain, it's just, yeah, the sky's the limit. So yeah, I think for me, I look at color and texture, and then the type of tile. It's glass, stone, porcelain, ceramic, that, you know, that's kind of the third factor. But it's, for me, it's all about, well, there's a lot of factors. There's the thickness and everything. So everything is close to planing, but just, you know, we're after a rainbow of colors. So we kind of have to be able to use whatever products are available on the market.
So do you need, I mean, we all understand the basic tools for doing tile, but what kind of tools do you guys need, specific tools? Are there some that you can tell us about, or anything unique?
Well, I think it's amazing what you can do with a wet saw to start out with. You don't really need, for my purposes anyway, you don't necessarily need all of these other tools. So to get started, just get really tuned in on with your wet saw. You'd be amazed what you can cut with it. I did it for 20 years before I even thought about looking at a ring saw or shapers or polishing kits and grinders. Well, grinders were a part of the early beginnings too, but yeah, ring saws can be, you know what I love about a ring saw sometimes? It's just quiet. It's relaxing to run when you're doing some intricate design.
Hey guys, I've got another question. Yeah, we've got another question on that screen. The question is, how do each of you handle estimates? What are the parameters that you require?
I didn't hear the last part of that.
I'll read that.
Okay, the question is, how do each of you handle estimates, and what are the parameters you require?
Well, I can give you a quick answer, and you guys, and then I can pass it off. Mine are all T&M, and that just comes from years of just reputation and trust and all those things that you build over many years, because fortunately and unfortunately, I've been doing this for a long time. So, you know, you gain people's confidence, but I understand that, you know, there are going to be people who are going to want to at least have a budget number. So maybe y'all can speak to that.
Yeah, that's tough to just ask somebody, you know, what's your budget? Because I think people just automatically think, oh my gosh, how much am I going to be able to get out of this guy? You know, I'm with Lee. It's just try to figure out how much time it's going to take you to do the project, and pad it just like bidding any job, because there's always unforeseen things, especially doing the artwork. You know, things break when you're making them in transport, whatever, you know. So it's time and materials. And, you know, if you can talk budget, that's great. But, you know, it's time and materials, and just try to, for me, like with a lot of things, I don't want to come in too high, because a lot of times I feel like they won't want to go for it. But at the same time, I really want to do the job. So it's that fine line of making enough money at what you're doing and justifying your time, and, you know, and not scaring somebody off in the meantime.
Well, I think if somebody wants if somebody has a budget number, I think it's important to get that, find out what they're willing to spend, and make sure you design your piece with that in mind. Don't design something with thousands of pieces for $5,000. You know, if they're not willing to pay, you know, and they only want to pay $3,000 or whatever it may be. So design accordingly. If you do need to get, if they're working within a budget, then think about what you're drawing or what you're doing.
Right.
You present that, right, Angie?
Yeah. I try to, as far as how much I want to make, what I add into my estimate is I know how much I want to make per week. And then I also add in the materials, of course, but estimating that, how long something will take to make is sometimes difficult. That just comes with practice with doing artistic projects and realizing, you know, this hex pattern actually takes a lot longer than it looks like it takes. You know, it's not always about just pop in one color and put in another, you know. So trying to explain, you know, I try to explain that in a way to my client, like, this will take me at least 3 weeks to make if I worked on it for full-time hours. So that helps them understand why it cost what it cost. And I also try to give them options as far as level of detail. So the higher the level of detail, the more expensive it is, and it's in a whole different price point than if it was larger pieces that I would be working with. And I've sort of got that all figured out into a square foot price, but I don't always like doing the square foot price. I much rather, it always seems to work out better for everybody if I were to base it on how much time I think something will take to complete. And then it's pretty easy to figure out the number that way.
When I have a question for you, when you get a new client and you're working on a commission, and I think you all said that you have nearly 100% artistic license to proceed. So it can become something that you just love and you believe in. But when you have a direction that you need to go that you're just not interested in, do you find you get writer's block and it's hard to produce something that just really isn't, you know, something you want to do? Maybe you need to do a bunch of flowers and you hate flowers, for instance. Is that ever a problem in trying to get it off the ground and something going? Does it become drudgery for you ever?
Personally, I pass those off. Just, you know, like, I'll just say, well, here, let's just have a water jet company just make that, because, you know, it's just not my thing. Or, you know, in the future, I may just say, call Angie. I don't want to, you know, sit there with the little, you know, the tweezers and do the thing, and you know, not that it's not gorgeous, but you know, we all have our specialties and what we like to do. And if you're not, you know, forced to do it out of a paycheck, then I'd gladly pass that work along to somebody else.
Okay, cool.
I don't think I've ever come across a job where I wasn't interested. Most of the people that contact me want something cool, that they have an idea of what they want, but they give it to me to, you know, make it happen. So I like the challenge of creating something that I haven't seen before. But if it was like the same old thing over and over, there was a time where I was doing a lot of sea turtles. I was like, another turtle, yay. But I made it each one different so that it was fun. I didn't, you know, I don't mass produce anything.
Okay, great.
Can I also address that question?
Yeah, Nadine, go right ahead.
Thanks. So I actually had something like that come up several years ago, where I had an outdoor garden pathway that a client called me for. And she said that she wanted a floral vine running through all the garden beds. And I don't do representational work. That's not my thing. But I really liked the client, and I really was excited about the scope of the project and the actual project itself. And so I told her that I didn't, that I wasn't inspired by a representational vine with flowers, but that I had some other ideas that would be like that in the end. And I was able to come up with a pattern that took up the whole, you know, paving area, and created a type of vine that was bright and colorful and emblematic of that kind of patterning. And she was really, really happy with it in the end. I think some of you have seen that project. But so I guess what I would want to add to this conversation about that is that if you have your own ideas about something, go for it. You know, don't say, well, I don't do that, but I can, it might not really be your cup of tea to do it a certain expected way, but let your mind take you where it needs to go.
Right. It's like all about educating your client. You know, you can essentially tell them what they want, and describe it in a way that they are interested to see what what your ideas are. So I would definitely educate them on their options.
So I was looking at the chat screen and we got another question. It basically asks, do you feel like there's a certain type of customer that is into these custom pieces, or do you find that you're surprised by who wants them and who doesn't want them? I guess they're looking for like your stereotype of a customer, I guess, that you work for. I don't know if that's the right term, but
It's all over the board because people don't know until you show them. I don't know how many times in the past that I've come up with an idea or brought somebody, presented a drawing or whatever, and their first response is, you can do that. You can actually do that. So I think it's educating them, and it doesn't matter. It does, you know, who doesn't, art has no boundaries as far as whether you live in a $300,000 house or a $30 million house. Everybody loves art. So there's always a way to cater to all of them.
Make something for everybody's price range too. You know, like we were talking about earlier with budget. You know, if somebody wants to spend $1,000 and they just want to dress their floor up with a little compass rose or something, you know, where it takes you a few hours.
Hey, Josh, I can't hear you very well. Can you speak up just a little bit?
Yeah, sorry. There's just a budget for, back to the budget thing. It's, like Lee said, everybody likes art. So if you can offer to do something small, like a compass rose and a floor that, you can whip out in a few hours versus, a 1,000-piece mural, there's different levels of it. But yeah, I think it's definitely across the board. Everybody's into it if they know it exists.
Right. The stuff that you can do creatively with tile, you're not really going to see in a tile store or a big box store. So it's a challenge to get those ideas in front of the client.
Word of mouth. I live in a small town, and word of mouth goes a long ways. And that's virtually how I get all my jobs. So, you do good for one
opportunity to tell somebody.
Yeah, it's great. People like to show off their art too. They're really happy with their new floor or their new backsplash, and they want to show everybody. And then everybody wants to have what their neighbors have. So it just kind of snowballs.
So do you ever leave business cards or bigger cards like at local distributors, for them to hand out? Will they do that for you? Have you tried that?
Yeah, I've got a couple of places up in Anchorage that have my cards, and people take them, but I think they only really offer them out to people that are into the mosaics. So I don't get the average person calling really just for a kitchen floor. I do locally around here, but I don't hand any cards out around here. Just a couple stores up in Anchorage.
So that kind of leads to another question on here. I'm sure Rob was just going to ask it. So it sounds just like you do your artwork, but you also will install tile for someone if they just want a kitchen floor or something like that. Is that correct?
That's correct. And that's something that I'd love to just get out of 100% and just do the art 100%. But, it's a balance. I was just looking at a job yesterday and they asked me, and it was just for a kitchen floor. And they asked me, what percentage of your work do you do that's just art? And I would say it's probably about 60-40 right now. 60% being just normal work and 40% being the art. Some of these art jobs, especially recently, they're pretty labor intensive. So it definitely made it seem like I was working on art more than other jobs. But if you just add up the number of jobs that I do every year, I'd say 40% of them are art and 60% are still regular. And I'm hoping here another couple of years I can flop that number and make it, 60 in favor of art, and then, eventually work up to 100%. But, that's my dream. I mean, we'll see if we get there.
How about you, Angie? Do you do any tile work or just all art?
I just do custom tile now. So
Okay.
most of the work that I do is here in my studio, and I do installations here and there, but it's usually installing my own art piece. But
Sure.
yeah, so I'd say 100% now. It's what I do full time.
Lee, how about you?
It's weird because you go through spurts. We've been on for about 5 years. It seemed like it was nothing but art, and with some sprinkles of tile work. But then when you've been around for a while, and a client says, one of your clients, 20 years of work, says, we want our garage tiled. Well, what do you say? You say yes. So it really, we have a lot of those, and we'll do anything they want. So if it's regular tile work, it's straight up tile work, great. But they know that it's probably coming with a little different level of detail, even in simplistic, seemingly simplistic installations. We always find a way to twist it a little bit and turn it and make it unlike anybody else's. So, but it does fluctuate.
So the question was, is it something a tile setter can do on the side, or is it a full-time gig? And that's why I asked it that way. I wanted to just see what you guys were doing. So it can be done on the side, and it sounds like, talking to all of you and Nadine, I think you would prefer to do it full-time if you could, 100%, right?
Oh yeah, that's where I think, like Joshua said, that's where I'm headed.
Yeah.
There's very soon here, I won't even accept, and it doesn't mean I don't like to do it. I mean, I love, so many of our jobs are, they're not just straight up, even if it's just tile work or stone work. There's still always that artistic element that we introduce into it. But at the same time, yeah, in the very near future, that's all I'm going to do.
I better get you over to my house fast.
Well, I was thinking about that one you did every square inch on the interior of that house in subway tile recently.
Yeah. See, seemingly simple, right?
Hard on the back.
Absolute nightmare.
My neck hurts thinking about that job.
Yeah.
The thing that's really interesting about that challenge of just shifting to art is that I have a very difficult time imagining what Angie does. I don't know how I would hand off my piece to an installer to install. And so when I'm doing my pieces in my head, when I'm creating it and when I'm actually physically creating it, it's for me to install as well. So that's a really difficult transition for me to make psychologically. And I really am envious of Angie, who can remove yourself from that part of the equation, because it's a real sticking point for me.
Oh, it is very tough. I think the worst part of it for me is worrying about shipping. My worst nightmare would be that there was a wreck or something and it got destroyed. But I try to think like a manufacturer whenever I'm creating mosaics, and I just take my installation knowledge and put that into how, if I were to give this to some random tile installer, let me make this really easy for that person. So I try to take a lot of the work out of it make it as simple as possible to be able to give to that person, and then also have installation instructions, you know, and that goes along with it. But it is nerve-wracking. It was, especially at first, but now it's pretty, I've kind of got some different methods and techniques that I use in mounting. And then I specify specific products to use in the installation, so everything goes smoothly as possible.
All right. Guys, we got 2 more questions for you. Guys are getting a lot of questions here. The first one is, how do you develop digital renderings? And the second question is, what was the most innovative feature that you've incorporated into a piece? So number 1, how do you develop digital renderings? And what was the most innovative feature that you have incorporated into a piece?
I haven't gone digital per se. I'm still kind of old fashioned. I draw everything to scale on graph paper and then trace over it with overhead projector paper and blow it up. So that's my idea of being digital. My mind just doesn't go to the computer, and when it does, I just get frustrated really easy. So I'm a little old fashioned.
You're old, Josh. You're old. That's why.
Well, I'm looking at my beard. I am a little old. But yeah, I'm a little old school when it comes to the technology.
Yeah, my background is in advertising and graphic design, so it's easy for me to sort of put together like an image of what I'm going to do with little labels showing what material goes where, but there is no way that I'm going to design fully what it's going to look like in the end. That part is part of the fun for the client, and I just kind of explain in my design, you know, this area here, I might draw out with like a pencil on my digital rendering. I might draw out, say, it's going to have little pieces cut that look like this, but it's going to continue all the way around. But I'm not going to sit there and draw all that out, because the work is in the mosaic, and I just try to do a digital rendering that gives a basic idea. Sometimes I don't have to do that.
Yeah, the drawing, I don't know, I started just drawing pictures. And I would just draw it to scale and trace it and cut those templates out, have your master. And now there's some things that are I'm messing around with that might just make the process a little simpler. It doesn't mean you don't have to draw a picture. It just means that maybe some of the templating process time can be cut down a little bit. So as much, I'm very old school, and it's very hard for me to turn corners. I can't believe I bought a ring saw several years ago, things like that. It seems simple, but what do I need that for? But as ideas are presented, why not mix the old school with new school and just develop a new routine instead of just being stuck? So I think it's a blend.
Why did Jane smirk when you said you were old school?
Because she knows that it's like, that's the way I've done it for 100 years, and that's the way I'm going to do it for the next 100.
Oh, you meant stubborn. Okay.
Yeah,
I liked it when Joshua said his version of digital is all drawing by hand.
Yeah.
These
Exactly.
digits. Yeah.
Free
I like
tools.
that.
What I do, kind of touching on that, is, I'll blow whatever I'm drawing, I'll blow up to make a life-size template, and I'll go as far as coloring it. Because if somebody's, you know, spending thousands of dollars to say put a custom backsplash in their house, they don't necessarily see the same, they can't see the piece clearly through like I can. So it just helps us get on the same page a little more of like, they can actually see what the shape of the tile is pretty much going to look like, you know, based on the pattern, what the colors are pretty much going to look like. So they can sit back and look at it and be like, you know, is this really, you know, do I really want it like this, or do we want to change this? Or, you know, so for me, that's a really huge part of it is in my my design phase before I finally get the go ahead to cut tile.
A lot of times I'll take pictures of the actual material that I'm using, and on my digital rendering, I'll have little samples of of the colors beside the image, and then it'll indicate what color goes where, so what material goes where. So I'll do that sometimes to give a good idea. There's a lot of people, like you said, Joshua, don't see it, and they need to see something so that they have a good idea. But there's still no way that I can put in all the detail that I will put in my work into a digital, because then the digital would cost a fortune.
Well, and I think that's why people hire us as well, though, is they don't want the recreation of a image. They want your vision. They want it to evolve as you're, you know, as you're going through the process. They want that unique feel from each artist. They don't want just a copy.
Yeah, well, they'd be getting a water jet if that was the case.
Right.
They're paying for handcrafted, you know, they want that handcrafted look.
Right.
So,
And that's a lot of times we'll have the client actually come to the shop, and they can see the process and see the materials, see it kind of taking form. And it's helped a lot in the past where you know people are spending a lot of money, and some of them are like, I wonder what I'm getting for that. You know, so having them come to the shop and get a good visual and see the progress means a lot. It relaxes them, and they just let you go about your business after they see what you're doing.
and I think sometimes they feel like they have more of a part in designing the project or being part of the project if you invite them to your shop and you actually show them how it's being you know, constructed. So I always offer, you know, if you know, it's 9.5 times out of 10 I'm doing a job here in town, and I always offer for them to come over sometime during the process of the fabrication, and it always puts a smile on their face, and it just reignites their excitement for the whole project. You know,
Well, it shows them the authenticity.
Yeah.
What's happening too. It's not just a presentation and all of a sudden this piece shows up at your door. You're seeing firsthand that every piece is being handcrafted. They see that, and now the price doesn't mean as much anymore because they have the story.
I wish I could show my clients, you know, more as far as what goes on, because I ship out most of my stuff. You know, a lot of my clients don't see that whole process like you're talking about. They don't come to my shop unless they're local. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Would you ever, Angie, you okay?
Are you okay?
I'm okay. It
Would you
wasn't
ever
an earthquake.
Would you ever think of videoing the process? You know, even if you just did in like 10-15-minute segments and sending it to the you know, the end user, the customer.
Mm-hmm.
that'd be a way for you to show, you know, a little bit of what you're actually doing and the, you know, the handiwork that goes into it.
Right. Yeah, and then I show some of that sometimes also on my social media pages. So if they do follow that, they'll see little video clips here and there. But yeah, I send usually progress pictures.
All right, guys, we've got another question about how do you handle different thicknesses tile artwork and making sure that it all is the same thickness when it's finished?
Well, that's something we've all been working on. That's another, okay, that's going to get kind of.
Magicians never give away their trade secrets, right?
No, we're actually.
I do it a lot.
Trying to share them.
I use different thicknesses all the time with my work.
No, we all do. You know, you can't, if it's the right color and it's an eighth of an inch thick, well, you figure it out. But we have several mounting techniques that Joshua, Angie, and myself are presenting to the standards board that takes care of that problem 100%.
Is that what you're going to show to the technical committee?
Yes.
Lee, what we've been talking about? Okay, good.
Correct.
Excellent.
And that it's hard to get into that right now with the limited amount of time. That's probably another session because it's complicated. There's
not always easy.
No, and we all have our own methods, and we have more methods than we're even presenting, but we're sticking with a few to start. And
Mark, episode 2.
Yeah, Jim, we've been, that's a good time to bring that up. We've been talking about that behind the scenes, preparing for this, everybody. I fully expect this to just be the first of more of these types of roundtables. I'm sure we're just scratching the surface here, right, everyone?
Yeah, we could go. We're trying to be brief with our, I think we've all been trying to be brief with our answers and not getting in too detailed because, we could go on all night long. So I think it's important that we, touch on these things and plan for more in the future so that we can be more informative and be more detailed with our answers on certain things. And share.
Yeah.
We're all about sharing. We're not, for us, there are no trade secrets. We are, if anything, the complete opposite. We want to teach everybody who wants to learn this. We want to teach them every technique we know, every secret we know, and let them form their own style. So, and you can see the different styles of artwork that are done in our medium. So we get phone calls asking our opinion on how to do this or how to do that. Well, I'm going to be the first one to answer that call. I want you to know how to do this, and I'll do whatever I can to make sure that all the mistakes I made, you get to bypass. you get to skip all of those School of Hard Knocks days. And I think Joshua and Angie are, we're all the same way. We really want this to go on forever. We don't want this to fade. This is not a fad.
Yeah, as for me, I'm still learning,
Well, we're all learning on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
Every job.
Yeah, exactly. Because everything that I do is so different from the last project that I did. So I'm like, what in the world? And I'm getting ready to use precious stone, blue lapis. I've never cut lapis or honey onyx. And I'm like, a little nervous, but you know, I said yes to the job. Of course I can do it. I just now have to figure out how. And but you know, it's each job is a challenge. I think I definitely I'm a yes person. I'll say yes to a job I think will be over my head, and then I'll figure it out from there. And that's how I've learned a lot of what I do is by trial and error. But I'll make sure I know it before I actually put it in somebody's home. But definitely it's a lot of fun what we do. And I think anybody who, I mean, I had to find out through asking questions to people that I thought might know the answer. And I don't mind people asking me questions, just not 11:30 when I'm in bed watching TV, which happens.
Well,
I think we all push our limits
well,
on
we've
every
got one
job.
question.
I
We've
was
got
just
one,
touching
quick-
on that, but
Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say we all push our limits on every job, and that just makes us it just polishes us a little bit. You know, so I mean that's what ultimately makes you better, is getting yourself into something that you wonder how you're gonna get yourself out of.
Yeah.
And then when you get yourself out of it, you you move on to the next one, and then you've learned from that.
And then you
So-
feel great at the end because you're
Oh,
like,
yes.
I figured it out. Yeah.
How come none of us have ever learned how to say no yet, though? I mean, we've learned so much over the years, right? And how many times do you still go on your way home from the meeting? You're like, what in the world did I just say that? Did I just say I could do that?
Well, that's when you know, you have to do it.
Yeah, and then you wake up in the middle of the night and you go, well, that wasn't so tough. The answer's right there. But I think it's part of our success is saying yes, and maybe not having all the answers right then and there, but knowing, having the confidence.
Yeah, because even if you don't know an answer, you know, the resources are out there. You can figure it out, you know.
Right. Exactly.
I got to just say something real quick to everyone on here.
So we had another question from Wayne.
Every tile installer that's on here right now, I just want to say, every single one of you are artists, right? You all are. You're craftsmen and you're artists in what you do. It's a very unique opportunity we have. But the four of you, including Nadine, and possibly others of you that do this type of artwork, that is like you just said, that's the next step. That's the you know, you're reaching the peak of the mountain when you start doing stuff that you guys do. It's beautiful, beautiful work. It really is. I think Mark's got some designs right behind him.
My whole house is wallpapered like this.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it's only wallpapered while I'm waiting for the actual artwork to arrive so we can install it.
You know, you don't get to take it home from coverings, right?
Yeah. Speaking of sharing the inside of our homes, Paul suggested, Jane, that your home looks so beautiful. We'd like the grand tour.
Yeah, walk around with that computer.
What's up? Oh, you're muted.
Oh,
I'm
that
not muted now. No, I'm actually in, this is my office, Mark.
Nice.
It's a combination. This is my office and it is the music room. As you know, we have artists in the family and so it's a pretty eclectic place, yes. But I was renegated to the
you can't
office.
walk around with.
You did what?
So you can't walk around with that computer.
No,
Oh.
I can't walk around. This is my office. I mean, we're talking big computers.
Paul, hey, Paul, we tried, Paul. next time we'll get it. You know, Jonna said that, you know, you artists never think in terms of no. I think that's a good point, Jonna.
Yeah. I don't think I ever say no.
Right?
Never.
Nancy Reagan didn't wear off on you, huh?
Rob, I think we have one more question that Rob has from our chat, and then we're gonna bring Leslie Godden in after this next question.
Yeah, so Wayne had a question. He said, client ever make changes or reject things? Or do you find that they're usually, they give you the freedom and they trust? So I think it's kind of a two-part question. Do they ever try to change what they wanted in midstream, or have you ever had things rejected, you know, because the person didn't believe that was their vision for what they were wanting?
Thumbs up.
I think they know if they hire you, they already know your style, number one. So if they didn't like your style of work, they would have went elsewhere. So I think you're pretty safe unless you just go off and you know, do something completely out of the box of what they were expecting. You've already crossed that bridge.
Did that airplane job, and everything was cut, and the lady saw it, and so going back to the template, you know, I can only draw or color the template as close to the color of the tile reference as I can, because there's only so many colors to choose from when it comes to chalks and colored pencil sticks and whatnot. So she wanted to change a few of the colors of the mountain range. She wanted more snow and less rock, pretty much. So I just took out what she wanted, like 40 to 50% less rock. So I took out, it was probably, I don't know, 12, 15 tiles. And I already had all the patterns for them. So I just recut them out of some white tile. And then, you know, that was just a change order. It was just extra work, you know. So it does come up, but that's pretty rare. So
I've actually had something recent happen. I did a inlay out of hex with cursive writing that says "Welcome to the Lake," and that particular project, we agreed on a design to begin with, and everything was signed off and everything was good. And I spent 3 weeks just doing the cursive part of it. And then she was like, you know, I don't know if it might be a little whimsical, a little too curvy, and I think I would like it in a different font. Could you change that? And I had to like completely start over because every tile around the hex was cut, you know. I had to completely start over. So I was like, sure, I can do that, you know, but you're gonna have to basically pay for it again. And she was like, oh, that's fine. I just want it to, my friend is going to draw a font and I want you to do it just like that. And so I was like, hey, it's just like another job to me. So I didn't get emotionally invested into it. It didn't hurt my feelings because it wasn't anything I did. It was, you know, just an afterthought. And that's happened to me twice this year. Another job, somebody wanted a different shape of a pineapple. And it was like after it was already completed. So as long as they understand, sure, I can change it, but it's going to cost extra, then I'll change it. I'll just keep changing it over and over if I have to.
Well,
you know, I just want to make sure that my client's happy. So I want to give them the end product I want them to be excited about. So whether it's my fault or their fault or nobody's fault and they just change their mind, you know, I'll do whatever they want me to do within reason.
Well, I'm going to ask the question, Angie, that's going through Luke Miller's mind as you said that. Doesn't that back up the next project and you start having the domino effect then and affecting your work?
Not always, because what I'll do is I will put them back behind everybody else. So if they want you know, and they don't have a time frame or whatnot, a deadline, I'll let them know, yeah, sure, I'll do whatever you need, but these projects coming in behind you are ready to start. So I have to get this one off the table to put the next one on. And, you know, if I can wiggle it in somewhere, I'll go ahead and do that. But that's part of it, you know.
Mark, what are you saying? People in the tile business have problems with their scheduling? They have scheduling problems?
Never. It's only because the tile contractor comes at the end of the job, so we got it covered.
That's right.
Yeah, we're in good shape. I want to change gears just a little bit, and if not everybody knows her, I want to introduce Leslie Godden. Leslie, please raise your hand there and tell us a little bit about who you are. And Leslie has a presentation for us.
I do. So yeah, it's good to see you. There's a lot of faces here that are familiar, and there are some that are new to me. I'm the editor of Callewaert magazine, and so you read my stuff, and I appreciate all the information that you provide. And I have to say that this roundtable has been so incredibly helpful for the project that I'm going to show you now. So this has just been really great, and I look forward to more of these roundtables for information. So I'm going to try to share my screen. This is new. I only practiced this once, so bear with me, okay? There we go. Okay, here we go. So we're introducing a new publication in 2021 that is Callewaert Artisan. And I'm just going to give you a flavor of this magazine because the original presentation was 27 slides long, and I don't think anybody wants to stay here for 27 slides. So anyway, this is our new publication. This new print magazine is going to be the large format size that you've seen in our trends issue and our tech issue. And it will replace both of those magazines for 2021. It's going to focus on beauty, as you can see, of precision tile setting, of craftsmanship, of artistry. And it's going to celebrate these qualities, provide practical information for those who want to take their craft up a notch, and inspire others to get in on this highly creative aspect of the trade. NTCA really started focusing on artisan tile setters with the Tile Setter Craft Person of the Year in 2019, right, Lee? And the amazing program that was going to be at coverings this year. We've continued to elevate the segment of the trade, and Callewaert Artisan is another step in that direction. Should things go smoothly next year, you'll see this magazine at Coverings and Total Solutions Plus. Regardless, we'll publish it in April and October. In addition to print, Callewaert Artisan will have a digital companion online. And this is where you can really help us help you. We want to illustrate projects and technical methods we feature in print dynamically with video on our tilewaert.com site. And I know that many of you already chronicle your work with video, but if you don't, please think about doing so. And, you know, I have a great audience here. Please let me know what you're working on. Please let me know what your projects are that are coming up and what you've just finished that you're super excited about and proud of. I need material, and I'm looking at all you guys to provide that. So we're going to be looking for standout photography in print and to raise excitement on social media. This will be just made for social media. We'll get a lot of exposure. So there are a number of ways to define artisan tile setting. We kind of talked about this as we were developing this idea. And so we're going to focus on it in these 4 ways: the precision work in traditional and residential commercial projects, artistic projects. So you've got mosaics, medallions, public projects, public murals, art tile used strategically to accent or personalize a project. And we're also going to look at the history and legacy of tile setting and craftsmanship stretching back through the ages. So in addition to artisan tile setters, Callewaert Artisan will be a chance to give small US tile studios and tile makers some love and exposure. You think of the members of the Tile Heritage Foundation or those you see in our Tile Village at Coverings. There are so many distinctive designs and decorative art tiles that can be incorporated into projects. And Callewaert Artisan will give them a chance to shine, as well as show the faces behind those designs. We want to connect contractors and educate readers about the unbroken line of history you are participating in when you practice your trade. You're not putting a piece of plastic on the floor. You have a centuries-old tie-in with history that other floorings, including LVT, can't compete with. Tile is timeless. So we're just really developing what's going to be in this magazine. So it's a work in progress. And this is just kind of a sample of what you may see in the new publication. And you guys have given me so many ideas of stories that I want to follow up on. We're going to only have 2 issues next year, but I think I have a lot of material just from this particular roundtable for many more. So anyway, we'll have our cover story. We'll have a section for Tile Setter Craftsperson of the Year, whether we're going to interview the new Tile Setter craftspeople or they're going to do a column. We haven't decided. We'll feature an artisan tile setter and project and a tile maker studio. We'd like to show beautiful tile from around the world. This can be one of your projects, or you could be on vacation, you know, like when we used to travel and you've gone on vacation and taken pictures of beautiful tile. You can send that in and we can show that as well. There will be content by Tile Heritage Foundation on the history and legacy of tile. Of course, we want to focus on the nuts and bolts of artisan tile setting and also on the business aspect. Stuff that you guys talked about tonight was really great. And we'll have products and news and letters from the president and from me. So with Callewaert Artisan, NTCA will enter 2021 with an inspiring new signature publication and digital companion, an exciting recruitment tool to attract creative craftspeople to the trade. We are psyched. So there you have it in about 5 minutes. And I want to thank Joshua and Lee and Jane because they were kind of our board, you know, of trying to develop some ideas and kind of guide this publication. And also Michelle did the mock-ups of the covers for us so that we'd have something to show. So, so that's my story. And I will put my information in the chat bar in case you want to get in touch with me in the future, if you have any ideas or comments or anything. So thank you for letting me introduce this to you all. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Leslie. I'm just, I can't thank you enough. It's so important. And I know it's a lot of work, but I think you understand the importance of it as well. Have the same passion as we all do. And it's very exciting. So thank you.
Sure. I am so psyched. I am really psyched about this. I think it's going to just be beautiful. And I can't wait to see it grow. So.
Leslie, thank you very much. I've got a question. Will that come in the mail to subscribers of Tile Letter Magazine?
Yeah, it will. I mean, we want to have it at the shows as well, but you will get it, you know, as a subscription.
All right, terrific. And everybody, please take a look at the chat screen also. We've got some amazing comments there. Check out your chat screen if you'd like anything to add there. Leslie did put her contact information if you'd like to get in touch with her in any way. And I'm gonna shift gears once again. Hang on, we're not done yet. We've got a sponsor of our program, and our sponsor of these programs is none other than Custom Building Products. And Custom Building Products sponsors something we do, a little deal we do called Ask the Ref. And right now, it's time for us to play Ask the Ref.
Football field.
Okay, so everyone, we've got a couple of questions that Rob is going to walk us through here. We've got two questions. The first half, Rob Roderick, I'm going to turn this over to you. You got something for us?
Sure. You know, it's a great resource for, you know, helping you through any tile problems. It's set up in a problem, cause, cure format. And that's where we get these questions for Ask the Ref. The first question we got, we're going to have two questions. And the first question we got, you guys can just answer in your chat screen. So Randy, I'll have you watch the chat screen, and whoever answers correctly first will win a prize from Custom Building Products. And again, you don't have to type in the whole answer. You just have to type in the letter next to the answer. So that'll be quicker. But the first person to answer this correctly will win something from Custom Building Products. So let's show them the question, Mark.
Okay, here we go, Rob. Do you have the question?
Yes. All right, and this is a kind of a tough one. I'm going to tell you right now, this is kind of a tough one. When installing transparent and light translucent glass tile in installations that require membranes, where should the membrane be located in the assembly? And I will say this, that there are some manufacturers that will approve other places, but we're talking about what's found in the reference manual. So where do we want to put that membrane when we're installing glass tile, specifically translucent or clear glass that you can see through? Let's give them some possible answers there, Mark.
Okay, and once again, put the correct letter into the chat box, and Randy's got his eyeballs on the chat box. Here we go.
Yeah, if you click on your screen, at the bottom of your screen, there's a little icon that says chat, and you can click on that and type it in. So should we put it on top of the mud bed, on top of the concrete board, between and the substrate? That one's very interesting. I'll just say that. Very, very interesting there. Membranes should never be used with glass tile. Membranes can be used at any place with glass tile.
I put them all down. Did I win?
You would have won because one of them is the correct answer.
That's what I thought.
You're an overachiever, Jim.
Yeah. And if you guys know anything about multiple choice tests, there's always one that, if you don't know, there's one they say to go for, like in the area there. How are we doing, Randy? We got any answers?
I've got lots of answers, and so it looks like capstone tile has answer C between the substructure, and that was the capstone tile was answer was C. So they were the first one out.
Stone tile. All right, you're the winner of our prize. And talk to them about how they can get that prize, Mark. I know they're going to send you an email, and we'll show them a picture of all those prizes. Do you have that on this slide, or is it at the end of the second question?
That's coming up, Rob. What everybody is going to win is a selection of two prizes of amazingly terrific, unbelievable swag from our terrific sponsor, Custom Building Products. And what I need you to do if you're the winner, is to send me an email at mark@tile-assn.com. mark@tile-assn.com. Send me an email with your email address and your mailing address, and I'll give you the instructions on how to select your amazing prize from Custom Building Products. I'll give you that email address just
I got
before
it, Mark.
we're done.
I got it. I'm sending it out, Mark.
Okay, thanks, Jim. All right, now we're going to move on to question number 2. Here's our second half, and take it away, Rob or Randy, who's ever taken this?
I think this is Rob.
All right. Okay, guys. This is something that we get phone calls on this one quite a bit. You know, we do technical support for all of our members, and it's about lighting. You know, lighting can make a big difference in how your installation looks. And there's a term used for the type of lighting that shines straight down the wall. And that type of lighting, of course, accentuates any lippage or any inconsistencies with tile work. And what is that? How is it referred to? What is the word that's used in the reference manual to talk about this type of lighting that creates so many problems? Let's give them a list of different options there, Mark.
You guys know there's another one.
Grazing light, atmospheric light.
We have a winner.
Lime light. It's one of those. Keep an eye on the chat screen there, Randy. Have we got some answers?
I see, looks like Holly has got C, the grazing light.
That is correct, Holly. Congratulations. You are the winner of the prize from Custom Building Products. Again, send your email to Mark, M-A-R-K, at tile-assn.com. He will get you straightened out and show you what you can win. Do we actually have a picture of those prizes, Mark?
We do, Rob. All right, everybody. Thanks for playing Ask the Ref. These are the prizes you guys are going to get to choose from, and I will send you this list. You don't have to memorize this now. When I get that email from you, we'll compare notes and we'll get that prize heading your way.
So, hey, is Will still on here?
I don't know if Will is still on here. I tried to look for him.
Did Will leave? That's too bad.
Yeah, I think Will might have had to log off.
Okay.
Yeah. So awesome. Thank you very much. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to ask of our artist panel? I do have one thing that I would like to mention, and Lee, maybe you can jump in. We do have another guest artist here today with us, Seth Reddy. And you mentioned to me that Seth is doing some really cool work. Hey, Seth.
Hey, how's it going, Mark?
Good. It's good to see you, Seth. Been a while.
Yeah, good to see you. I'm not very good with the technology like Josh, so hopefully you guys can keep up. But yeah, I have a project going on here. I can walk you through real quick. Let's see if I can turn this around.
I'd love to see it.
So basically, we got a big living room area right now. And we're going to be doing Carrara marble 12 by 24 and with these mosaic red dragons inset into the field. You could see this will be the pearl placement, and we have another dragon here. So I've talked quite a bit with Lee, not as much as I need to. Really, I'm hoping we can get the next roundtable like right here on location, so we can all take a crack at this thing, because I'm kind of in the I don't know how to say no aspect of my career. And so yeah, this is where we're at, man. And
that's awesome, man. That's gonna be it's gonna be a challenge, but I know you'll do it.
Yeah, I got you know, a lot of the glass already on site, you know, talking about being able to get all of my material, you know, to flush plane. You know, I'm working with a lot of different materials I've never worked with before. You know, we even have coasters here, ceramic coasters that we're gonna incorporate into the Dragon. You can see some coasters. Yeah, so just this, you know, we're still a ways away from this, you know, getting to this point. We've been doing a lot of other tile in here. You guys have been seeing, you know, some backsplashes and some showers and stuff. But yeah, this is the main one. So when are you gonna come see me, Lee?
We're here for you too, just so you know. Anything you need.
Yeah, I appreciate that. This
You
is,
can
you know,
call any of us anytime. And at some point, you know, I may just take a quick plane ride, and if you need any guidance at all, I'm here for you.
awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Looks cool.
So,
Really
thank
cool.
you, thank you.
We should team up and all meet there. I'd be into that too.
Yeah,
Come on, Josh. Come on, man. I need you guys.
I want to
Let's
play.
wait till the snow flies, and I want to do some skiing while I'm there.
there you go.
Snow flies. I got 6 inches of snow today.
Oh
Whoa,
man, I'm glad I don't live in the lower 48.
no, not ready for that.
It's got to be coming your way though, because I'm in Minneapolis, so it's got to be coming your way.
Yeah, thanks. Would
Live
you please keep that?
It snowed 6 inches and now it's raining.
That is awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's beautiful, Seth. That's cool.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. It's a pleasure just to be on this call with all my idols right now. So, and yeah, I hope to make that 2021 Tile Artisan magazine. That's what I'm here for.
do it. Do it.
Leslie will get you in it for sure.
All right.
I will be in touch, Seth. I will
Thank
be
you.
in touch.
All right.
If nobody has anything else, I have one last thing that I want to share with everybody. But first of all, does anybody have anything they'd like to add?
Next time.
Next time. Next time, and there will be a next time. I want everybody to watch the roundtable listing on NTCA. I want all of you, if you haven't done this yet, I want you to opt into our texting system. Text the letters NTCA to the numbers 31996, and I will send you an update reminder so you don't miss these. Okay. So NTCA to 31996. I know, Jerry, you got that down, right? Jerry,
Hey, Mark,
never
make
misses.
sure you tell them we won't send more than 6 messages a month to them, and we just want to make sure they're aware of all of our programs. That's what we're doing.
Jerry, how many messages did I send this month?
I don't know. A lot. I don't know. And I'm always here, and I always find everything interesting and educating, and I love everyone here. It's awesome.
We love you too, Jerry. You are so awesome. Thank you for being here. And this is the last thing that I do want to share with everybody tonight. I'm going to share my screen one last time. And I'm sharing the CTEF auction screen. We are having another roundtable tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central. And if you haven't yet registered for this roundtable, I would like you to do that, because I would love to have all of you there, because the Ceramic Tile Education Foundation is having an auction of products supplied by all of the incredible sponsors you see on your screen. And these people are doing this, and we're doing this auction because CTEF desperately needs your help. We need to finance CTEF. They're a nonprofit foundation, and COVID has hit CTEF really, really hard. So we need your help to keep the foundation afloat. And that starts tomorrow, is the start time for the auction. And tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central, Scott Carruthers, who's with us tonight, and Kathy McAllister will be our hosts on the roundtable. and they're going to tell you how the auction process works. They're going to show you what all of the auction items are, what you can bid on, answer your questions, and go through the whole process.
So do this, write down www.excelevents.com/E/Kathy, and you can go on starting at 10 o'clock Central tomorrow and start looking, excuse me, 11 o'clock Central tomorrow and start looking at and bidding.
So please, we're begging you to show up tomorrow to participate in the auction, and show up and be part of our roundtable at 1 o'clock tomorrow. I'll be sending an email reminder for that as well. Okay.
He isn't kidding, we're begging. We are begging you to come.
Big time.
Scott, you got anything to add before we sign off?
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to everyone here. We have some people that have made financial donations to us, and to you folks, we say a very big thank you, because as Jim mentioned, we've been hit hard. We had to shut all the programs down. We have no testing, no training. We are dabbling back out into the testing arena. We did 2 of them over the weekend and have another one coming up. And these are all closed tests. These are not open for particular contractor locations. But I just signed up our very first 2021 test, which we will have a press release going out tomorrow, probably to you all. So we're back on the calendar. And we drafted a COVID-19 policy, which we have shared with the NTCA for workshop and roundtable, or not roundtable, but regional trainings rather. So we have the process there, and we actually have outfitted the CTI testing module so that we can actually utilize both sides. So we have a COVID appropriate barrier between the 2 sides so that we can utilize both sides of the module, because we have, in fact, what we've done in the last 2 over this weekend, we only have 1 person in the 2-person module so that we can socially distance them.
So we're going to be getting that testing back on the road in 2021 and as soon as possible. But to bridge that gap, we want you to participate in the auction. And there's a lot of cool stuff on there. Amazing, amazing things to bid on. So, but let's sign off for tonight. Show up tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow for the CTEF Roundtable. Thank you all for joining this first ever Artisan Roundtable.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. And the Artisan team is going to come up with a date, and we'll have one again next time. Thanks, Lee, Joshua, Angie. Thanks for hosting. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.